I am welcoming Godwin Chan, candidate for regional councillor. Hello, Godwin.
Hello, Marj. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Very glad that you could join me now. Godwin, I'm looking forward to hearing the responses to some questions I've sent you. I'm asking you to respond to each question within 2 minutes. First question, how would you describe the value of our heritage, and how would you like to see Richmond Hill's 150th anniversary celebrated next year?
Okay, the first part of the question is about the value of heritage. Richmond Hill is actually almost 150 years old, and lots of heritage. Number one, I suggest everyone to look carefully into our crest of coat of arms. There's a lot of history, proud history of Richmond Hill. On the two row beside that lion, which represents, I understand, Duke of Richmond, and those red spots are supposed to symbolize roses.
Mm-hmm.
Roses are actually really heritage part of Richmond Hill. At one time, actually the turn was last century, Richmond Hill roses won top prizes in New York in the International Rose Competition. Our late mayor, Dave Barrow, his family actually came to Richmond Hill and have rose gardens, so to speak. And so everything is captured in that crest. And I think there's a lot we can be proud of our heritage. Not to mention about the heritage village. Richmond Hill began as a village and then to a town in Richmond Hill. And we still have those heritage properties that actually would be good in next year, 2023, 150th anniversary. By the way, I moved a motion last year to get the town ready to celebrate 150th anniversary, and I'm proud of it. Number one, bring back the Heritage Festival back to Yonge Street, Heritage Village. And not only that, it will help to really promote a sense of civic pride, belongings, but also it helps everyone, particularly local businesses, a business improvement area, and to celebrate where the Heritage Festival has been going on. So that's relating to heritage, as well as 150 celebration as well. If we turn and elected as a regional councillor, I'd like to have a citywide children's festival to be held. And 150 anniversary is a milestone, and I'd like to go forward looking at a milestone that we begin a citywide children's festival. The other thing is that in the past, there's a really good Taste of the Hill Festival being held in Richmond Green to really celebrate and embrace the multicultural diversity in terms of the dishes, in terms of the culture. I'd like to resume it, either Richmond Green or again, perhaps another street festival, so to speak, to celebrate our heritage in the year of 150th anniversary. If possible, perhaps it may be not too late to think about have a plan for, we do have a very active horticultural society. Think about maybe convening a rose competition in the year of anniversary. Isn't that fantastic?
Okay, I like those. Okay, our second question. The majority of Richmond Hill residents are very car dependent. This has us with a large carbon footprint, thus contributing to the degradation of our environment. Do you see us resigned to this? Would you support changes to the municipal zoning rules to permit non-residential uses in areas that are strictly residential? Should new subdivisions be designed differently?
Okay, there's a lot of questions in that one question. Let me hope that answer all of them by, I want to make it very clear. I honestly believe that the housing issue, one of the issues we all talk about affordability, and it's a supply issue as well, because like anything in the market, supply and demand. I would not support any expansion of our urban boundary into green spaces, and conservation lands. That's point number one. Number two, that's relating to what I just said. by expanding the land area does not necessarily equate to supply or helping to decrease the pressure of affordability. I think the question you raised in the first part is about the carbon footprint and how can we design that the subdivision, if there's such opportunity, to minimize the use of vehicles. And so I think that's one important part is about the really active promotion of public transit. I mean, I'm a believer because actually I did take, and I'm still taking public transit, like GO Train, TTC, if I go to Toronto, TTC, GO buses and so on. I think those have to be encouraged. And in particular, along the major transit road, even though it may be higher density, high rises, and I think that's part of things that either we can make a requirement or strongly encourage all those builders to provide perhaps not so much subsidize, negotiate a good rate for its tenants, resident owners to have a better rate for using a public transit. Insofar as the using of cars, I think with the high dollar for what we're paying for gas now, it does actually deter more use of particular single trip. So certainly promoting carpool, and obviously there's a general movement towards the hydro, the electric vehicles use. That should help, but of course again, it's very challenging to get one now these days. But in terms of redesign of the subdivision, I totally agree. And I think the principle that we have been operating so far as a Richmond Hill Council is to promote this, what we call 15-minute complete community. Now, it's try to say have all those conveniences within a 15-minute walking distance or cycling distance. So in providing neighborhood commercial, I'm not talking about plaza, I'm talking about neighborhood commercial where people can walk to get a jug of milk, whatever the case may be. And those would be planned in future subdivision. And that's my hope. And I think the important part is also education. Nothing more important. And I think that particularly with what you're doing now and having candidates speak about it, and I hope that people become more conscious, carpool, take public transit, and have our planners and developers also think about 15-minute complete communities where all the conveniences are around, and plan things around the major road that actually would be helpful for both the industry, development industry, as well people moving in, our owners, tenants, maybe get a better rate for the public transit. And subway is coming, don't forget.
Okay.
And I hope
very good.
that
Okay, let's move on to the third question. Okay. Okay. So to respond to, what do you see as Richmond Hill's vulnerabilities?
Sorry, you might repeat the question again?
What do you see as Richmond Hill's vulnerabilities?
Well, we just talk about all the proud heritage and what we can look for when we reach about 150th anniversary. There's a couple of vulnerabilities I like to think of. Number one is political. Political, I don't mean at the local level. The current provincial government has, back 3 years ago, talked about this called regional governance review. And they eventually did not carry through. But don't forget, this government now is a really clear majority. The vulnerability of Richmond Hill is that we kind of sandwich between two bigger sister brother municipalities, Markham and Vaughan. One of the things is that, and that's one of the aspects as a regional councillor, I hope to be elected, is that to take a very, very strong, play a very strong role in voicing about particular highlighting the significance, the importance of Richmond Hill in both the natural heritage, in the economic development, in the public transportation. We are at the center of Yonge Street, 407 and Highway 7, where the future Yonge North Subway is coming, to really have put the stakes in the ground, so to speak. Richmond Hill is a strong community, vibrant economic place for all to enjoy. Don't think about touching Richmond Hill in that respect. I think we have to be really take a very strong stand. And the York region is a good place to have the voice because that, we are talking about this could have ramification for all the parties. So that one part of vulnerability from a political standpoint. The other standpoint vulnerability is that, and it's not unique just to Richmond Hill, it's still a bit uncertain what the economic future would hold. Because of COVID, we are now calling new normal. The workplace in terms of where people are going to work, or where the workplace we still need to have more commercial buildings, where offices, where there's also commuting patterns. We have so much investment in the public transit. We just talked about encouraging people to take public transit. We still have to monitor a bit about what's going to happen because all these are talking about big investment. In fact, talking about carbon footprint at the region, one of the things also we're talking about capital money to build, like for example, bridge over the Whale on Albion Mills and other places. So we have to be very careful in Richmond Hill, in York region, about how we spend the capital dollars. I think the vulnerability is if we spend the expensive capital dollars in the quote-unquote turns out not to be a place we're supposed to spend money on, we as taxpayers are in big trouble.
Very good. Okay. The fourth question. Imagine there was a lottery for municipalities and Richmond Hill won $50 million. How would you like to see it spent?
Well, 150 million, if I get it right.
Okay.
Well, that
okay.
Is that 150 million?
No, I just said 50.
Oh, okay. Because I thought the federal government, the provincial government, may want to chip in 150 million during our milestone 150 anniversary. No. So maybe I'll make a pitch on that if I was successful, become the next regional councillor. But talking about 50 million, on the face of it, at an individual level, it's a lot of money. But when you're talking about doing something capital works, it's not a lot of money. And the reason I'm saying that, I know they're building certain things such as a multi-sports complex. And a lot of people are talking about we could have an indoor tennis, pickleball, bocce court, and all kinds of wonderful things we can do within the indoor. Now, 50 million, I think, could help contribute to make a particular, at least a significant portion of the money need to build a capital structure that Richmond Hill can position itself to be the national center for tennis, national center for skating. We do have a couple of skating champions who actually have roots in Richmond Hill, and also tennis stars. And pickleball is very popular now, and who knows? And bocce, and it's very popular. And I like to see that the $50 million to be put into really raising that particular level so that we could have more support and hopefully get federal provincial money to build a truly, I won't call it unique, but we all proud of a national indoor sports center that can really turn out the next generation of tennis champion and all these other champions.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's move to the second portion. 7 fun facts about the candidates. Answer them quickly and with a smile. Okay, are you a tea or coffee drinker?
I'm a coffee drinker.
Okay. Do you prefer ebooks or real books?
Sorry, I missed that one. I'm too excited.
Do you prefer ebooks or real books?
I'm still old-fashioned. I like the feeling of turning the page.
Yes.
Physically.
Okay. Do you say ketchup or ketchup?
Ketchup.
Ketchup. Okay. What's your ideal place for a vacation?
Wow. I have so many places. At this point in time, I just want to find a place somewhere where there's beaches, do nothing after these weeks and months of election. It could be anywhere in South Pacific. Doesn't matter. Fuji, which I've never been to.
No. Okay. Do you use a Mac or a PC?
I use PC, although I do use iPhone and all this other stuff.
Okay. What is your favorite vegetable?
Oh, since my mom has been telling me, always have those green broccoli.
Broccoli. Okay. And have you ever played pickleball?
I have yet to play pickleball, but I watch it and I can understand why it become popular. At the same time, I'll be quite honest. I also understand why I've been getting some complaints in neighborhood where the courts are.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Godwin, for participating. I enjoyed hearing your answers. Good luck with the campaign and hope to see you around the city soon.
No problem. My pleasure, and thank you for doing this. Is to me is truly a community service that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.